Watchtowers. Placed in pairs, the watchtowers come equipped with a zip line, allowing you to travel quickly from one to the other. To get on top of a watchtower, press E. To use the zip line, walk up to it and press E. If you happen to be detected on top of a watchtower, your enemies will try to destroy it. Fear factor. When you're in combat, the fear factor meter appears at the bottom of the screen. This meter represents the time you have before your enemy's next attack. The more your enemies fear you, the greater the distance between both icons and the more time you have before the next attack. However, enemies aren't as afraid of you with each passing second, in which case the icons start to get closer. When your enemy's fear factor is equal to yours, the icons touch and your enemies attack. If you're running low on stamina, it's better to keep your distance and let it recharge. Be careful though, even if you have a higher fear factor, enemies will still attack you if you're too close. Bonfires. To light a bonfire, press E while close by. If you're standing near a lit bonfire, it will significantly increase your fear factor. If you move too far away, you lose the bonus. This icon shows how much time is left before the bonfire goes out. Pack management. When you attack multiple enemies at the same time, your chances for survival drop. So it's important to know how to intimidate your enemies to space out their attacks. There are two ways to intimidate your enemies. First, every time an enemy takes damage, its fear factor decreases. Second, the icon at the bottom of the screen is one of your special abilities, the intimidating shout. Press the Q key to shout and intimidate your enemies. Don't forget, the distance between the two icons is how long you have before the next attack. Take this time to reload your gun and let your stamina recharge. Lastly, the paw symbol over an enemy's head means it's next to attack. Always pay attention to them. Firewalls. Use firewalls to block paths in the forest, forcing enemies to take an alternate route. If you block every available path with firewalls, enemies will sacrifice some health and go through the walls anyways. If one enemy does this, it breaks the wall, allowing others through unharmed. The Wayside Cross. To activate the Wayside Cross, press E to start praying. Once activated, the Wayside Cross lasts for 1 minute and does damage over time in a large area to all diabolic creatures. Detection. Enemies can see and hear you. If an enemy gets too close to you, it will see you and attack. The circle around your hero on the minimap represents the sound he makes. When you move, you make more noise. An enemy will detect you if its dot on the minimap enters your circle. Certain actions like firing your rifle or shouting create a lot of noise. When an enemy hears you, a marker will appear at your feet. This marker represents the last place an enemy heard you. All enemies that heard you will go to this marker. If the enemy does not see or hear you again, he will leave the area after a short period of time, and the marker disappears. The dashed circle on your mini-map is the range of your shout. Use this ability to lure enemies under your traps. Bait. Bait will delay the enemies who eat it. This icon shows how much time is left before the bait is finished. The more enemies there are eating it, the faster it will finish. Wind. Always keep the wind's direction in mind when you're planning out your strategies. Enemies not only detect you by the noise you make, they can also track your scent. Your scent carried by the wind is shown as a cone on your minimap. Enemies that smell you will start to track you. Enemies will not stop tracking you as long as they can smell you. The Sacred Tree. To charge the Sacred Tree, you must perform a magical tribal dance. This icon shows how many charges are remaining. The Sacred Tree will automatically attack nearby enemies until its charges run out. The Sacred Tree is particularly...